Chapter 10. Shocked. When my eyes came to, I heard Harry's voice say, "Finally up, sleepyhead. Slept long enough?" I rubbed my eyes and backfired. "Shush it, Harry, I was tired." Everyone laughed and I soon laughed along and then stretched. Ron asked, "Why weren't you in your classes, Miranda? Everyone was looking for you this morning." I asked, kinda shocked, "Really?" Hermione nodded her head in response to me. She added, "Yes, and it looked like Professor Snape was wondering where you were too during potions. He was acting quite unnormal for some unknown reason." I guess it must be closer to lunchtime now, judging by Hermione's response. "So I missed some classes yesterday and again this morning." "Great, I can only imagine what kind of rumors are going around about me by now. And what kind of record I'm starting to set for myself, since my smartness was just like Hermione in a way. But yet everyone knows that she's the brightest witch for her age." I also can most likely guess why they noticed that he was acting slightly normal, because I know something that they don't in regard to what happened. But if I don't tell them the truth, they'll know something's wrong or has happened. After hearing their responses, I looked down as they stared at me with concerned looks. I couldn't tell them the truth. No way. I'm not ashamed to admit it, just extremely shy. I watched Harry sit on the bed next to me, but I didn't move. Harry lifted my head to ask, "Miranda, did something happen between you and Snape yesterday, or is there something you're not telling us?" I nodded my head, not being able to say anything more. "What happened, Miranda?" Hermione asked. I sighed. "You guys promised not to tell anyone this at all. This is strictly supposed to stay between me and Severus and my friends." They all said at the same time, "Yes, we promise." I giggled slightly. Okay. Well, to make it easier, instead of explaining everything, you guys know I went to talk to Severus after breakfast yesterday. Well, let's just say that long story short, I lost my you-know-what to him. And please don't bash me. I know it was wrong for a student and teacher to go that far because of the age gap and all, but we both wanted it. They all gasped and looked shocked. For a minute, the three of them couldn't really say anything to me. Ron finally said, "Bloody hell, Miranda, are you serious about this?" "Yes, I'm as serious as I can be about it, Ron. I'm sorry, I don't know what became over us. It just happened and I can't take it back. I don't even want to take it back because of the certain feelings that are growing with him now. It somehow felt right. I can't explain it." I looked down completely embarrassed, admitting this to my best friends for being afraid for being judged too harshly. After all, we're all only 14 years old, starting to change and have crushes and stuff. It's easy to feel confused, ashamed, and even conflicted. Harry came closer to me and I felt him grab my hand. "Is that why you stayed here, Miranda? Because you've been feeling a little ashamed and confused?" I nodded my head as tears formed in my eyes without knowing. Ron and Hermione sat close to me too, as they all started to comfort me. I said in between tears, "I also just had this horrible headache from all the candy I had last night." They nodded their heads as they looked like they wanted me to continue talking. They watched me as I continued. "But I'm sorry, you guys, we just got lost in the moment, and he never rejected me, so we went along. And yes, before you say anything, we were cautious. He made sure that I wanted to go through with the whole thing before I went too far. At the end of all, he seemed to want it just as much as me deep within." Harry tried to reassure me. "Miranda, you don't have to apologize. It will happen to us someday anyway. Try not to worry about it. Everyone makes mistakes." I got up off of my bed and said, "This wasn't a mistake at all, Harry. I made the bold move that started it all, and I wanted to go that far with our potions teacher." "Miranda, it's okay. I'll admit that it's a bit awkward and weird, but if you feel that way about him, then it was a moment that was meant to be," Hermione chimed in, trying to reassure me. "Just try and ignore this for now, Miranda. You can't continue to hide away in bed like this." "But I can't just ignore this, Harry. Not a situation like this. I mean, I can't. I don't even think I could if I tried to. I didn't want to see Severus the last night too, so that's why I wasn't in class. And even if I were, he would probably ignore me, as usual. I mean, I did have my first time with him after all. So having a horrible migraine on top of my confused feelings would have made me explode in class. After all, I believe I'm starting to really fall in love with him, and I don't know what to do about it. I didn't say anything else as they looked at me, seeing my fragile state of mind. Harry, Ron, and Hermione all got up from sitting in my bed and group hugged me. I guess they knew that all I needed at the moment was a good hug. Breaking the silence, Hermione said, "Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go get some ice cream at Hogsmeade? I know that's one thing that'll cheer you up, Miranda." "Wait, the Miss Goody Two-Shoes with all the work wants to not go to class for a day? What happened to Hermione Granger?" I asked surprisingly. She smiled at me and giggled in response. Ron asked worriedly, "What about the rest of our classes, Hermione?" "Just forget about the classes, Ronald, for one day. What's more important to you? Our classes are helping out our best friend and cheering her up." That explains her reasoning for wanting to willingly skip classes. I mean, after all, this is Hermione Granger we're talking about. She never casually skips out on anything important to school-related work. Ron nodded his head as Harry did as well, seeming to agree with her and not question anything further. The fact that she wants to skip classes to comfort and cheer me up says a lot about her character. I willingly changed out of pajamas and into my robes as I went into the bathroom to finish getting decently ready. When I was finished, we all left to go get ice cream at Hogsmeade to cheer me up and forget about what had happened. While we were in the hallway, we saw Malfoy coming towards us. He looked towards me. "Is it true, Miranda, what people are saying? Did you and Snape really kiss recently?" My eyes got big as I wondered how the bloody hell he found out and who else exactly knew about it. He just gave me that smug look of his as I wanted nothing but to punch that ugly, smug look off his face. I balled up my fist as Harry immediately held it with his hand, making and wanting me to cool down. I couldn't bear to say anything remotely nice, so Hermione spoke up. "Go find someone else to mess with, Malfoy, that's half your size with your evil, bloody self. How dare you talk to me, you filthy mudblood?" She didn't say anything back, so we walked away, completely ignoring him. I asked, "How did Malfoy find out about this, guys? I thought no one knew besides just when I told you guys earlier." Harry said, "I don't know, Miranda, but it can't be good at all." I just sighed to myself in frustration. When we got there to Hogsmeade, Harry got a strawberry, Ron got vanilla, Hermione got chocolate, and I got cookies and cream. We sat on a bench near the shop, laughing and talking amongst ourselves. I was really starting to forget about everything, and it makes me thankful that I have such amazing friends. After we were done with our ice cream cones, we went into a couple different shops to casually look around. It was nice, honestly, to forget everything and play hooky for a day. Once we saw that it was going to get dark soon, we decided to head back to Hogwarts for dinner. We were almost to the Great Hall when Dumbledore stopped us in the hallway. He asked, "Why aren't you all in your classes today?" Then I told Dumbledore that I wasn't feeling well this morning and something happened yesterday that made me want to stay in bed. I also told him how Harry, Ron, and Hermione stayed with me and how they just wanted to cheer me up. Professor Dumbledore listened to me the whole time. Once I was done explaining, I sighed as he nodded his head, letting us by. I thought we would have been in trouble for what we did, but I guess not for some odd reason. I think he must have gotten the hint about what I was trying to explain and say without me having to go into the details. I have a feeling that he's going to question me one-on-one about that sometime. We all said thank you to Dumbledore and went along to dinner in the Great Hall. Once we arrived, Neville then ran up to me and said, "Miranda, you better come here quick. Something's wrong with Professor Snape and I really don't want to go near him for obvious reasons, so I ran to come and find you instead." "No, Neville, it's alright. I understand. No worries there. Just lead the way." Just before I got to say anything more, I saw Professor Snape kneeling on the floor. He doesn't seem to be moving much, but at least he didn't fully collapse or something. I exclaimed in a worried tone, "What the bloody hell happened to him, Neville?" "Did you see anything, Neville?" Hermione asked. Neville responded, "He was walking by the tables, and he just half fell on the floor right before you guys walked in. I didn't know what else to do at first." I ran over to Severus and sat on the floor next to him. He was just staring blankly ahead and didn't bother to respond to much of anything. With Ron, Hermione, and Harry nearby, I looked up at them as I looked down at Severus. With his hand on his knee, I carefully grabbed his hand and I checked his wrist just to make sure he had a pulse. I looked at him and even his eyes were almost blank. "Severus?" I whispered. He blinked as he saw me, but didn't say anything. With other eyes on me, I asked out loud as I stared into him, "Professor Snape? Professor Snape, are you all right? Do I need to go find Professor Dumbledore?" Yet he just blinked again with no response as he looked at me. "Can he walk?" I asked him. Just then, I heard the door open as I looked up to see Professor Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall walking in to see the students and staff's worried faces. Neville then told them what had happened to Severus. They both immediately walked fast over to me. He seems to blink and acknowledge that I'm here, but he won't really move or say anything. I don't know what's wrong with him. As him being a teacher, I've never ever seen him like this. "Neither have I," Professor McGonagall stated. "What did we do, Professor?" Professor Dumbledore thought that we and Professor McGonagall should carefully carry him to the hospital wing so that he could be looked at. Harry, Ron, and Hermione followed up with me, just in case if I needed help carrying Severus down, which I actually did. Even with magic, Severus's body weight was quite heavy, so it wasn't easy for him to be carried. Once we got him into a bed in the hospital wing, I told him that I wanted to stay. I felt the need to stay by his side. I was worried and wondered what caused this to happen. Hermione, Ron, and Harry decided to leave after a couple minutes just to make sure that I was all right. I was going to stay here with them until Severus woke up, since he was out like a light. I refused to leave Severus's side, and Professor Dumbledore surprisingly let me stay, as I was grateful.